Pennywise is one of the oldest and most powerful foes. Originating from the Macroverse, it is a cosmic horror that has existed for billions of years, awakening from its slumber under the little town of Derry in 1715. But the time frame that most know this sinister hedonist from is the 1950s, when the death of Georgie Denborough marked the beginning of a new reign of terror. Alright, starting with the basics, we're going to need a mod right off the bat here for the race. And this is the Thunder's Extra Races mod. Now I will note there are some bugs with this mod. One is that you cannot use clothing or armor with it properly, and you're going to show up naked while playing and in the cinematics, and it also T-poses during cinematics, so it looks a little weird. But I think for this build, it really is better to go with something like a changeling. Now, as you can see, this clothing looks really horrible. The mod was not ready for regular sized clothing for sure. So the reason that I think we should go with changeling is because it does not have a true earthly form. It does have a form, but that form is unknowable to humans. So whatever it shows up as in Derry is just it morphing into different things that would be recognizable by people. Sometimes that being other people that they know, and most famously, of course, being the clown with the red hair. So if you want to go with the more classic look for Pennywise, you can just do a human and put the clown makeup on them from the circus in Act 3, or use a mod to get the paint earlier. But I think it is more interesting and more friendly to the lore to use the changeling, which is known for morphing into disguises, and it does come with the disguise self-action automatically for its race. So we're going to go with changeling. Now for the class, you're also going to need two mods for this one, actually. You are going to need the base Mystic mod and the Mystic expansion mods. We need to choose 2 psionic talents to start with. So we're going to keep Mind Thrust for the first one. The second one, though, we're going to go with Mystic Charm. Beguile a humanoid, possibly charming them. Now, obviously, it is not that charming once you see its true colors, but it does have a way of manipulating and using its charisma to trick people into thinking that it's actually friendly and wants to help them. For a psionic discipline, we need to start with 1, and we are going to go with what I think is the most obvious here, which is Mantle of Fear. You tap into a well of primal fear and turn yourself into a beacon of terror for your enemies. So I think that's really on point. And it does unlock a 1, 2, 3, and 5 spell slot for you. Mystic is a very heavy class when it comes to its features, so I'm not going to go through all of them. Alright, so for the subclass, we are going to go with Order of the Nomad, which unlocks an ability at level 3, 6, and 14 if you decide to go past level 12. So level 3 is Memory of 1,000 Steps, which is forcing an attack to miss you. And then level 6 is Superior Teleportation. We know that one of Pennywise's ability was to teleport. If you do make it to level 14, it's giving you an even further teleportation. It also gives you a subclass feature. Your vast and varied experience gives you a +1 to all skills. Makes sense for a being that's over 1 billion years old. Since we chose Order of the Nomad, we now get 2 nomadic disciplines. So we are going to go with Nomadic Chameleon. You create a screen of psychic power that distorts your appearance, allowing you to blend into the background and even turn invisible. Makes sense. He was able to be invisible to creatures if he wanted to be, and show himself when he wanted to be, and just generally blend in when desired. And then the other one we're going to do is Nomadic Guile. You concentrate your mind on trickery and cunning, allowing you to deceive and swindle other Vs. I think that's pretty on point. For the background, you're going to need a mod for this one too. The background is Trickster Hedonist, but the mod is actually called Vampire Infecta. So you will get a vampire ability by choosing this background, but it's just a bite ability, which is actually very on point for Pennywise, so it works fine. Looking at you, people see someone elegant, experienced, and a little dangerous. There's a sensuality to you that people admire, and you've made use of that facto. Yes, if there was ever an emblem for night and all its dark promise, surely that is you. Pennywise is definitely a hedonist and definitely a trickster, so I think this works for him really well. So with the ability points As I say in pretty much all the builds, all of these stats should be high, but we're working with limited points. So we're going to focus on strength, con, and intelligence, but we're not going to leave anything under 10. So strength, we're going to put our +1 into, and we're going to bring that up to 14. Dex, we're going to do 12. Con, we're going to do 14. Intelligence, we're going to do 14 with +2 in it. Wisdom, we're going to do 13. We're going to even this out later. And then charisma at 10. For skill proficiencies, we're already getting sleight of hand, stealth, and deception from the background. And we're also going to choose intimidation and performance, as well as history and insight. So intimidation, I think that's pretty obvious. Performance as well. He's quite the performer. He's quite the actor. History, again, this creature is billions of years old. He knows a lot about the history of the world. And insight, he's able to read people and situations, which is how he's able to get at their deepest fears. Now, we're actually going to be skipping over the appearance section because there's not much you can do to customize a changeling. You can make that changeling male or female, but I actually recommend for this you go with non-binary because Pennywise doesn't actually have a sex or gender. It is genderless. So you can go with either body type 1 or 2. Doesn't matter. They're pretty much the same. And then for the voice, probably just choose the deepest one available. Voice 7 or 8. All right, and with that, we will move on to the build section. At Mystic level 2, all we're doing is unlocking some class features. We've got telepathy, which is also an ability of Pennywise, and mystical recovery, which has to do with the psi points, which is how you use your spells. At Mystic level 3, we need to take a new psionic talent and psionic discipline. So for the psionic talent, we are going to go with Psychic Hammer, which allows you to push or pull a creature. So it is a telekinetic ability, which is another power that Pennywise has. And for the psionic discipline, we are going to go with Crown of Despair. You have learned to harvest seeds of despair in a creature's psyche, racking it with self-doubt and inaction. We see that in play quite a bit with Pennywise. He feeds on the fear and the anguish of his victims. At level 4, there is an action unlocked and we need to choose our first feat. So the action is Strength of Mind, gain proficiency in a saving throw of your choice. And for the feat here, we are going to go with Fey Touched. This is going to allow us to add a +1 to Wisdom so that we can even that out. It gives you the spell Misty Step, so just another way to bamf around. And it also allows you to add a divination or enchantment spell of your choice from this list here. So we are going to choose Dissonant Whispers to represent the way that Pennywise gets into the head, the doubts, the fears, and the guilt that his victims carry with them. At level 5, we unlock a class feature and we need a psionic discipline. We get a limit increase to our psi points. For the next psionic discipline, we are going to go with Mantle of Insanity. You learn to use psionic energy to break the minds of others, causing them to descend into madness. At Mystic level 6, nothing to do here, just unlocking the subclass feature of Superior Teleportation. If you're enjoying the build so far, please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 1,000 subs. Back to the build. At Mystic level 7, again, we get a psi limit increase and we need to choose a psionic discipline. This time we are going to go with Infinite Abyss. Your mind reached a place it perhaps shouldn't have, allowing you to harness the insidious powers of a noble eldritch horrors. Very on point for a creature that is cosmic and billions of years old. At level 8, we unlock the class feature of Psionic Strike. After hitting an enemy with weapon attack, you can deal an additional 1d8 psychic damage, and we choose our second feat. Our second feat here is going to be ability score improvement, putting a +2 into intelligence, which of course is the core of the mystic abilities. At level 9, get another limit increase to our psi points and another psionic discipline. This time we are going to go with Telepathic Subjugation. By channeling psionic power, you gain the ability to control other creatures by substituting your will for their own. So, mind control, essentially. Very on point for Pennywise. At level 10, you gain a cantrip and an action. Consumptive Power, tap into your own life force, regaining 7 psi points, reducing your max hit points by 7. The cantrip or psionic talent, we are going to switch it from the default light step to Mystic Hand. Manipulate objects with your mind. This is basically Mage Hand. At level 11, we're just unlocking class features. So this is a Psionic Mastery Charge. Psionic Mastery charges can be used to activate Psionic Mastery once per turn, allowing you to cast a Psionic Discipline for free. And Psionic Mastery allows you to cast a Psionic Discipline as a free action, and without spending any psi points, expends a Psionic Mastery charge and can only be used once per turn. And then at level 12, one more Psionic Discipline and a feat. So the Psionic Discipline is going to be Phantasmal Mind. You learn to manifest your psionic power in uncanny ways, mimicking the paranormal traits of ghostly entities. And then for the feat, we're going to do ability score improvement one more time and bring the intelligence up to 18. Not much to go over in the bonus section here, but I did find a mod that can make using Disguise Self a lot more interesting and on theme for Pennywise. Disguise Self Origins and Companions. As it says in the description here, this mod adds 15 new options to Disguise Self and Shapeshift, allowing you to become various companions and a few other NPCs by using the Disguise Self ability. And since Pennywise did take on the form of several people that the Losers Club knew, I feel like this mod is really appropriate for role-playing Pennywise. So that's it for the Pennywise build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like something less spooky, we have plenty of other builds on the channel. Thanks for watching.